Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bolters and Banter. I am your host, Tyler, and with me is my co host, Nick.
Hello, glad to be back. I have a better mic this time. Yippee!
I've also done some settings with the audio, so it should be a little bit better this time, but we'll see. If you are new to the channel, we are a Warhammer podcast. We try to focus on stuff for newer players. We do some fun videos here and there. Uh, but today's video is going to be on. Actually, you know what, Nick? I'll let you tell the viewers what this video is going to be about because this is
Oh,
more. You're going to be kind of like I'm going to be leaning on you for this.
it's okay. It's okay. I know your back hurts from absolutely carrying this podcast.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. I haven't. Hunter hasn't been on in like 3 videos now.
all right. Well, what we're gonna do today is I know that a lot of people get into Warhammer 40,000 from the lore. I mean, there are plenty of good lore podcasts, etc. And I actually got started, listening to lore blurbs and YouTube videos, but I think there's
Shout
a
out to Adeptus
divide.
Ridiculous.
Oh, bro, Luton, my goat, right there. But I think there's a divide between okay, I've got a general idea from like the YouTube and the podcast and everything. I want to actually buy the books. I want to go to the primary sources and see what the faction's about from the official Games Workshop stuff. I want to see what's been published. And that can be daunting because, whoo boy, there's like
64 books for the Horus Heresy.
yeah, I think there's been around 400 books for Warhammer 40,000 just by itself, not even including Fantasy and Sigmar. It's a lot. And so what we decided to do is we're going to give a recommendation for a book to read for each faction. In some cases, we may have multiple recommendations, or in the case, I mean, we'll get to Space Marines. They're such a huge faction.
Yeah,
And
you
they get
Space
so
Marine
much
players,
lore.
you get to go last because you get new models.
God, you're so spoiled when it comes to lore, man.
So
I'm
for this
holding.
channel, you're always going to be last. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just because you have so much good stuff. Anyway, we're going to go through each faction, give a recommendation of a book. I pretty sure I've read more books than you, Tyler, but
You have so
but
for me,
but I know that yeah. Go on.
I've read a
Sorry.
considerable amount of books. I mean, I probably have like 30 Warhammer books, but I've only been into the hobby for about a year. And most of my books are kind of duplicates of the same faction. Like I have like 6 guard books. So,
Okay. So I think that we're about tied. I think I've read maybe like just under 30, so you might have actually read more books than me, but I have
oh,
a little bit more of a spread. I mean,
okay.
my favorites are World Eaters and Orcs, obviously,
Oh, of
but
course.
I have a big spread because I want to know more about just the general stuff. Do you want to start with Chaos or Xenos?
Let's start with Chaos. Also, quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think the World Eaters are just Chaos Space Marine orcs?
No.
I
No,
don't
they
know,
are not.
man. Now that
Orcs
I'm thinking about
enjoy.
it.
Okay, you know what? Why don't we start with them? All right.
Okay,
So
sure.
I got into World Eaters lore pre-heresy. I read First Heretic and Betrayer. I read Betrayer first, then I went back and read First Heretic. Um, the World Eaters are a faction that is surprisingly depressing. They love battle. They used to love battle out of a sense of camaraderie and companionship and brotherhood. And that was a very, very intense sort of relationship they had with each other. And then later, they basically devolved into these blood slathering lunatics that feel nothing but rage and pain, and the only release they get is from death. And even in death, the nails still sing.
Yeah,
It's
in 30k World Eaters lore is just ultra depressing. In 40k, I mean, they enjoy spilling blood, but there's subtext and there's, excerpts here and there where you can tell that this is not what they intended. This is not what they want out of,
yep.
their lives.
And so I've got two recommendations for World Eaters. I'm already taking an audible here. If you want a good pre-heresy book and to understand the World Eaters as a legion, Angron, Slave of Nuceria, is Angron's Primarch book. It goes into Angron's origins, and it goes into the divide between when the Warhounds became the World Eaters, basically. If you want post-heresy lore, Karn, Eater of Worlds, is really, really good. It is a nice character-driven story about a band of World Eaters that is trying to sort of reclaim the Legion a little bit, and Karn is a sort of key to that. It's pretty good. Those are my 2 recommendations. Karn, Eater of Worlds for post-heresy, Angron, Slave of Nuceria for pre-heresy. Because World Eaters are my favorite Chaos Space Marine Legion. Those are my 2 recommendations. Do you have a favorite Chaos Space Marine Legion?
I'm gonna start a Alpha Legion army, but
Okay.
I do like Night Lords.
Do you have recommendations for books?
Yeah. We'll do Alpha Legion just to get them out of the way. So honestly, there isn't many Alpha Legion books, and I've only just started reading them. I could recommend Legion by Dan Abnett and
Okay, what's that?
the Alpharius book. I don't know who the author is for the Alpharius book. Presumably the same guy.
Wait. I think Head of the Hydra was by Mike Brooks. And we'll get to Mike Brooks.
Oh, Mike Brooks, yes. Yes, Mike
He's
Brooks.
my beloved.
Mike
Yeah.
Brooks, please come on the channel.
That would be
That would be so
absolutely sick.
awesome. But
Never
anyways,
gonna happen.
Legion and Alpharius' Primarch book. The Alpharius book goes into his origins, or supposedly his actual origins. But it's with him in the Imperial Palace, being trained by the Sigilites, all that good stuff. Legion is the 7th book in the Horus Heresy series, and that's, basically the Alpha Legion in a whole, and looking into how they operate as a Legion. It's pretty good so far. I'm not really into it. The only thing I'm really going to stress is stay away from Renegade's Harrow Master. It is by Mike Brooks. The book seems like it's very good, but do not listen to it on Audible. The narrator is so bad. No offense to him, I'm sure he's great with other books, but not for Space Marine books, at least.
Unfortunately, you Zoomers have to read words on a page. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, let's just rocket through the main legions of Space Marines that we need to care about.
Okay.
In terms of the Chaos Space Marines. So you say Legion and Head of the Hydra, maybe, for Alpha Legion. I say Carnate of World or Ingron Slave of Nuceria for World Eaters.
What about
Iron
Death
Warrior.
Guard? Oh, Iron Warriors.
Death Guard. Oh, I was going to go through the generic ones, and then we'll get to the ones that have codexes.
Okay, yeah, Iron Warriors then.
Iron Within. It is... Dude, they're so bitter. They're such dicks. Iron Within is such a good exploration.
Spreads.
Yeah, they are. They're really good. Emperor's Children. Have you read the Fulgrim Primarch book?
No, but I have read a lot of Horus Heresy stuff where Fulgrim is
Ooh.
present.
Okay. I have not read any Emperor's Children specific books, but I have read the Fulgrim Primarch book, which is really, really good. So, big fan of that. Night Lords. I mean, bro.
The Night Lord trilogy. Is
Bro,
it a trilogy?
come on.
I think it's 3 books, right?
It's 3, yeah. Soul Hunter, Blood Reaver.
Yeah, so they're
and-
by Aaron Dembski Bowden, a very, very good author.
Ugh, ADB.
I've read
beloved.
Soul Hunter so far. Very, very good.
Bro, Blood Reaver's better. Like, it's like comparing 9.5 to a 10. I
Yeah, but
love
there's a
Blood Reaver.
Warhound Titan in Soul Hunter. Oh, spoilers, but I
Okay,
mean, come on.
yeah,
It's
sure.
a selling point.
There's one in Betrayer too.
So,
Dude. Oh, wait, speaking of... Well, okay, so Word Bearers real quick. Word Bearers, I mean, First Heretic. Easy.
Word
if you want
Bears,
to learn-
honestly, anything with Erebus and it gives you a general insight to how much of a dickbag the Word Bears are.
Oh, yeah, dude. But honestly, like, First Heretic gives a huge window into why the Word Bearers are the way they are.
Does that
And
go
there's good Morgar
into
stuff.
Erebus's origins with him murdering the actual Erebus and all that?
No, it does not, but you get some early slime. You
Okay.
get some real better. And the sequel to it, Betrayer, has Word Bearers and World Eater stuff both in it, and it's really good. And there's a Warhound Titan. and Angron's a freaking menace in Betrayer. But yeah, first heretic for word bearers. Um, Anyone else that's generic? Oh, Black Legion / Sons of Horus. Any recommendations?
I will honestly recommend The Fall of Cadia. That is a very, very daunting book. I think it's about like 23 hours or some shit because it's kind of a collection of a lot of books.
Okay.
But the reason why I recommend it is there's really, really good stuff with Abaddon. The narrator does pretty good with Abaddon. He's actually genuinely pretty terrifying in The Fall of Cadia. Um,
And this is like 40k Abaddon too.
yeah, this is present day. Like Fall of Cadia is a pretty recent
Yeah.
event, so this is like where the Black Legion is right now, after
Yeah.
like during their big win.
Juiced up on Chaos Roids.
Yes.
If you want slightly earlier Abaddon, like right after the heresy, when he claims his Talon. Oh no, sorry, when he claims his Demon Sword. The Black Legion. I think it's a duology. What do you call a series of 2 books?
A sequel?
Fuck. It's a
I think it's just a
um,
sequel.
yeah, I think the name is literally like Black Legion and then Talon of Horus.
Real quick before we move off of Black Legion, um,
Yeah.
it's kind of scary to recommend Horus Heresy books because there's so many.
Oh.
But the first 3 Horus Heresy books, very very good. It's the fall of the Luna Wolves, turning into the Sons of Horus.
You
Great.
know what?
It shows
Yeah.
Abaddon falling, and him kind of just blindsided to it, and you can see into his pride and Horus's pride. It's the whole trilogy, or that whole trilogy is just phenomenal.
Okay, just read the first 3.
Yeah.
And then if you want like word bearer, skip ahead to first heretic betrayer. um okay. Those are, I believe, all the generic Space Marine legions. We
I'm gonna
did.
pull up a list because
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
one
was it
faction
Emperor's
is gonna be
Children?
so pissed.
No, I got it. Okay. Emperor's Children, Iron Warriors, and then it goes 5, 6, 7. Night Lords, 9, 10, no 11, 12. World Eaters, we already did that. And then Alpha Legion. Okay, yeah, all we have left is Thousand Sons of Death Guard.
Sweet.
Um, Thousand Sons. Have you read any Thousand Sons books?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I recommend A Thousand Sons. It is a 30k book.
Oh,
It's from the
really?
Heresy series. Yep, it is from 30k. It's a Horus Heresy book. It's all about the burning of Prospero. And
Would you
homie,
say it's about the Thousand Sons?
it is, and it actually explains why they're called the Thousand Sons. Believe it or
Oh,
not.
phenomenal.
Yeah, there you go. Have you read any Death Guard books?
No, but I have read The Flight of the Eisenstein. Um,
Ooh,
Very good
that's a good
book. It's
one.
part of the Horus Heresy. It follows a Death Guard Space Marine and him kind of witnessing the betrayal of Mortarion and Horus and all of them. And
Oh,
it
okay. So like
shows
30k.
it's weird. So like there's a scene where they show like 40k Death Guard like in the warp in 30k, and it's like this is what you will become. Blah blah blah. It's really nice.
Dang, that's
It's
pretty
it's
cool.
not
So,
so much a good glimpse into current 40k Death Guard, but it's still a good story nonetheless.
okay, I haven't read that. I have heard of what happens in the Flight of Eisenstein book, and it's really well recommended. However, I have read the Lords of Silence book.
Ooh,
Ooh. If
sounds
you want a
cool.
book where the Space Marines are just utterly terrifying, Lords of Silence. From their perspective, they're very like pragmatic, but from the outside perspective, they are just behemoths of rot. It's so good.
Well,
Okay.
phenomenal.
Yeah. All right. That's all the Chaos Space Marines. We did it. We did all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Chaos Demons. I have no I don't have any demon books.
I have some recommendations I can kind of throw.
Hit it.
It's kind of a stretch. But we'll start with Master of Mankind.
Oh.
A lot of people don't like it for some reason. I love it. It's about the Custodes, the Mechanicum, and like a single Blood Angel. Um, in the webway, fighting demons, holding them back. It's kind of a slow burn at first, but really cool shit happens without spoiling it. I can't give much, uh, but there is like a main character demon who follows throughout the story, and honestly, he was really terrifying because I'm gonna say this: he actually did a number on the Emperor. So
Ooh, fun.
yeah.
All right. Good shit.
Also, honestly, really any 40k like book, especially if Arcadia stuff has a good
No.
bit of demons.
Okay, you can't just say read any book that has demons in
Read
it.
any book. You
No.
read any book.
We're looking for like good like demon characters. So like
The Vashtor
Sanguinius.
stuff would be good.
Oh, you know what? Fair. Arcs of Omen stuff. If you
Arcs of
have
Omen.
that, but I don't know if those are published anymore because those are like
I
they're like
think you can.
campaign books. They're not novels.
I think there. I assume there's probably still an audiobook. Plus bonus points, you get Black Legion and stuff too.
Okay. If you can get your hands on it, but campaign books usually aren't published by Black libraries, and therefore they're not as available.
That's a bummer.
Okay, so Xenos, what Xenos books have you read?
Um.
Since you are based in Imperium Pilled.
Yes. Necrons.
Oh, dude, hit me with it, dude.
So I'm sorry, I have not read The Infinite and Divine. It is in my library, but I have not read it yet.
Are you
I have read
cringe?
or The Twice Dead King, sorry.
Yes,
Yes,
let's go.
based
My
book.
goat, my goat. Oh my god, Twice Dead King Ruin is my favorite 40k book.
Yes.
It's
It was
a
phenomenal. It like the Necrons in that book are more of like genuine human characters than humans, which is very ironic. It goes
yeah.
into their, mental disabilities, their state of decay. It's got some pretty cool horror and like existential dread
Yeah.
stuff.
And there's like a hereditary dynasty, and there's brothers
Oh,
and sons and
oh,
fathers and like
the
mentors.
the best part is that the Space Marines are the bad guys, and they are genuinely terrifying.
Yeah,
It's only
yeah,
the very end of the book, so don't get your hopes
yeah.
up.
The first book, that is.
Yeah, the first book. There is a
Okay,
sequel,
yeah.
so bonus points on that.
Twice Dead King Ruin is fantastic. I think you should have a little bit of context with 40k, but if you already know that, again, this is meant for if you kind of know the gist of your faction already. These are our suggestions. You know?
Yeah, if you're brand new to 40k and you're trying to get lore recommendations, I would just start with YouTube.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, don't give GW money yet.
No,
All right.
make them work for it.
So that's Necrons. Okay, I'm gonna hop in. Okay, I'm hitting orcs. I
Hit me with the
gotta.
orcs. Hit me with the orcs.
Okay, so do you want a book that actually takes itself a little seriously? It has humor, obviously, but like actually makes orcs interesting and a little terrifying.
Yeah, I really like the terrifying. They're like they're bloodthirsty and they're not like worried about causing damage side of orcs because
Okay,
they're a
Ghazghkull
genuine threat.
Thraka, the Ghazghkull Thraka book.
Okay.
It has a cool framing narrative where Makari's being like interrogated about Ghazghkull's life, and it's like an unreliable narrator thing. But dude, in that book, the orcs can be somewhat menacing, even if it's from their perspective. And Ghazghkull, you get an insight into what motivates him. It's pretty neat.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's
I
kind
don't
of
know
surface.
anything about Gaskell.
Oh, bro, I mean, read the book. It's written by Nate Crowley, who wrote the Twice Dead King novels.
Well, awesome. Real
Yeah,
quick,
man.
just while we're at this, are there any books that you know of about the War of the Beast?
Well, yeah, there's the War of the Beast series. It's like 5 books.
Is it any good?
Okay, I haven't read it, so I can't tell you. It is not lauded as mastery of literature, is all I'm going to say. But I have not read
Okay.
it, so I cannot give my opinion.
Yeah,
I do.
I'm kind of interested in that story. If you're not familiar,
I am too.
it's 30k stuff.
Like
With
32, 31k ish.
I think a little bit after the Horus Heresy.
Yeah, it's after the Horus Heresy. Vulcan's still alive, basically.
Yeah, but it's with an orc that's been around so long and has crumped enough skulls to where he's kind of forming into a cork or cork a croc. Uh,
Okay, he's not actually a orc, but yes, he's basically the biggest orc the Imperium
He's getting
has ever
close to
found.
it. Yeah.
And he leads a wall that's cataclysmically massive, wipes out basically most of the Imperial Fist chapter. Let's freaking go. And then starts attacking like Terra, like whole ass Earth. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
The lore of it is really neat. I like learning about it because it also gets into the aftermath of it and the hierarchy of the Imperium, which is really good. But apparently, it's not written that well. So,
Well, hit
I
me with
can't.
a funny orc book.
Brutal Conan.
Brutal Conan.
Brutal. Okay. Brutal Conan. I like War Boss personally more, but I mean, come on, you gotta do Brutal Conan.
Isn't
It's
that the one
first.
with the Titans?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It is the first of the full-length Mike Brooks novels. He wrote a short story with Uftak before this. It's Uftak Blackhawk and his Squig Princess, and they are part of the Mech Lords Tekwa, and they're laying siege to the Forge World Hephaestus, and it is just pure memes. Half of the book is told from the Adeptus Mechanicus perspective. The other half is told through the Orcs perspective. Now, Brutal Conan is the first of 3 books that Mike Brooks has written in the same universe. It goes Brutal Conan, then War Boss, then Da Big Daka. I would read Brutal Conan first. I would read Brutal Conan first, although War Boss can absolutely stand on its own as well. But if you've read Brutal Conan, there's a little cameo in War Boss that you will like.
Well, sick.
Yeah, if you'd like to know more about like the clans of orcs and some of their differences in war, then War Boss. But if you just want, it's my first orc book, and I want to know the shenanigans, Brutal Conan.
All right.
Okay,
Are we good on orcs?
I think we are. Yeah.
Okay.
Tyranids, what do you got?
To be fair, there isn't much stuff for Tyranids. Mainly Tyranid books are, oh my god, the Tyranids are coming.
Yep, I had to dig in the barrel to find recommendations for this.
The only thing I have read, unfortunately, because the Tyranids are very cool, is the Devastation of Baal. That is when the Tyranid Leviathan, or actually, it might have been the Behemoth fleet. Anyways, a Tyranid fleet is assaulting the Blood Angels' homeworld. It's pretty good. It's kind of heavy on the Blood Angels, as you could imagine, as a book from GW. But a fair bit of Tyranid stuff. You get kind of a glimpse into the actual like hive mind. Like it's very short.
Shit.
It's like a single paragraph.
That's
But
spooky.
basically, like there's this Death Leaper who's like working as like a spec ops assassin. And he does some really
That's
cool, but like
sick.
the hive mind takes control of him and like a Termagant, and it's really interesting.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. It's like reading Fall Acadia for demon stuff, or what Master of Mankind for demon stuff. Tyranid lore is few and far between when it comes to like from their perspective because they're an eldritch monstrosity construct. So
You can't really write like a god. It'd be like writing a first person book for Nurgle. It would just not
yep,
work.
yep. There is apparently an omnibus of a bunch of short stories around High Fleet Leviathan, and I know that was the main focus for 10th edition. So if you're into that, yippee. But I personally have not read the Leviathan omnibus, so I cannot give my opinion on it.
Okay.
All right, I have read all the other ones though. So
Gene Stealers?
Gene Stealer Cult's Day of Ascension.
Day of
I read
Ascension,
it.
the Gene Stealer book.
It's the one Gene Stealer book you have, but it's pretty good. It's got a lot of like
It is short though, 25
guerrilla.
hours.
True, but it's got good like a bunch of like guerrilla warfare stuff, which I think is pretty neat. It's they firmly believe in their cause, which is pretty awesome and also kind of depressing.
Almost like they're a cult.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Tau. So I've read both Farsight novels, Crisis of Faith and the other one. Something with fires. I don't remember what it is. The Farsight books, I think, get a bad rap because they're written by one guy who apparently people think hates Tau. I didn't really get that across. Farsight's an honestly very respectable character.
Oh, great
He
character.
fight-
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you real quick, but while we're on Farsight, he's got. Are you talking about the Arcs of Omen Farsight book?
No, I'm talking about the 2 dedicated novels for Farsight.
Okay, we'll continue on that, and I'll jump in a second.
Okay, yeah. Farsight has 2 dedicated novels. The first one is a good self-contained story, but it leads directly into the second. It is about him just breaking off from Tau, and you get an idea of why the Ethereals are so sketchy, and why Farsight believes that for the good of the Tau they have to resist. And it's a slow burn of his breakaway, and you get to really understand him as a character, and he's pretty respectable. So
Is that where they're on the moon and the ethereal dies?
Arthas Moloch happens in the second book.
Okay, so never mind. We're talking about the same book.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's after the Damocles Crusade, so this is basically the fallout of after the Imperium's first contact. Farsight is sent out back across the Damocles Gulf to try and reclaim worlds, and is kind of left out in the open with no support, and so he begins to have a crisis of faith, hence the name of the book.
Speaking of the Damocles Gulf, there is the Damocles Gulf Crusade. I have not read it, so I cannot attest to it, but it looks pretty interesting.
It's an Imperium book.
It probably is, but I'm gonna give it a shot at some point.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, oh yeah, I forgot about the elves.
Ugh.
Okay, well, let's get it over with. Harlequins and Eldari, I don't think any of your actual books are good. Listen to your audio dramas. I'm gonna be honest. Regular Eldar, Asurman, The Darker Road is a good audio drama on Audible. Harlequins, Heirs of the Laughing God, good audio drama. That's all you got, actually. Harlequins have no more books.
While we're throwing people under the bus, Leagues of Votan, you guys can get a follow-up video at some point.
You don't have any lore, I'm so sorry.
Which sucks because they're such an interesting faction. It's like Dark Age humanity kind of still persisting in some way.
Oh. Yeah, just read your 10th edition codex. Oh wait.
See you in 2026, Leagues of Votan.
Yeah, right before 11th edition.
Sorry, right, Votan.
Okay, Drukhari. As of literally today, they announced that they are releasing and pre-ordering the Lilith Hesperax book.
Yes. Also, great art for the the special edition book.
Yeah. I would wait to see that and pick it up, but if you really want Drukhari lore right freaking now, honestly, read the Big Daka. It's an orc book, but it's got really good Drukhari lore in it. So it gives you some really critical perspective for them. It's pretty good.
If I'm not mistaken, the author who wrote the Big Daka, who is kind of nailing it with the elves, is
Mike Brooks.
Is making that Eldari book.
He is writing Lilith Hesperax.
So that is true. Honestly, probably good hopes for it. I mean, Mike Brooks is he's pretty consistent. He's really good.
None of the books I've read by him are bad. They're all
I haven't had a bad one either.
Yeah. Actually, they're all good. I don't think there's anyone that's been mid. Because he wrote Head of the Hydra.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with them.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Brooks and Aaron Dembski Bowden are both authors that, like, they don't miss. They do not miss. Okay, that's all the Xenos. Let's do the Imperium. Let's do everything other than the Space Marines first.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna let you cook. Hit me with the guard, dude.
stands.
Hit me with the guard. All right, who's your girl?
Okay, Minkulesk.
Yeah, there you go. All right, tell me about her. Like, what are the books?
So, while on the subject of Minkulesk, there are 4 books in the series for her. She's a named guard character. There is The Fall of Cadia, which is... It's not so much really the Fall of Cadia. It's really just like one single aspect of it. But then you get Cadian Honor, which is a very, very good book into like their grieving of losing Cadia. And, you know, their existence is kind of threatened. How the other guard regiments are now looking at them. Traitor Rock is the follow-up. Extremely good. It's got like Imperial Guard D-Day, so you can't go wrong. And then the last book is Shadow of the Eighth. It was good. It was kind of a little weird to follow, but it was a good story. Um, and I mean, the Supreme Guard book is the Fall of Cadia. Not the Fall of Cadia. Cadia stands. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the newest
Cadia
one.
stands. Sorry. Actually, maybe that. No, Cadia stands is the Mikolesk book. I'm sorry. The Fall of Cadia is the big one. That is every faction present in the Fall of Cadia. It's got Mr. Creed fighting. It's got him trying to deal with the war effort. Every guard's been kind of rallying to the cause. Very great officer who takes control of like her like platoon and whatnot. Has like a very good like last stand. Um, Great book. Very slow burn. Very long. It's gonna take you a long time to get through it, and it's not really going to get interesting until about the second half. But it's worth it, in my opinion.
Okay, so your recommendation is Minkalesque.
Yep,
I
and
also my recommendation is also a very character-driven story where you follow one person and they're very human, they have conflicting emotions or whatever.
Gaunt's
But
Ghost.
I went, no, Caiaphas
Oh,
Cain.
oh, okay.
Caiaphas Cain, Hero of the Imperium. For the Emperor is cool. It's the first book in the series, not like in terms of in universe chronology, but the first one that was written. It's on Audible if you want, but I would get a physical copy because I like. Okay, in the audiobook, everyone's like aggressively British, and I'm a dumb American,
Really?
so yeah, I
Yeah, that's
sometimes
one
I
thing you're
have
gonna
a
get with guard books is for the most part, unless they're from Catachan, they are aggressively British.
yeah. See, I can tell apart every single orc character in every single orc book, but I cannot tell apart
No,
that. That's
that's
why
a
I
very
also
big problem with the Fall of Cadia is you get a lot of the voices mixed up.
Mhm. Dude, you recommended Fall Acadia like for 4 different factions. Is it that
It's got
big?
it's got a lot. It's got Black Templars, uh, Dark Angels, Black Legion, Imperial Guard, a little bit of like Imperial Navy stuff, Imperial Fist.
It's
It
got Imperial
literally
Navy
it
stuff?
yeah, it's got everybody in it.
Shoot. All right. So you say Minkalesque, I say Caiaphas Cain. Um, if I mean, we could also do Gaunt's Ghost, which is I think a trilogy.
It's
But
also a very
honestly,
good one to get in the 40K from what I've heard, but I have yet to read it.
yeah, I've read Caiaphas Cain. If you haven't read any other Warhammer 40K book, and you want something from a human perspective, honestly, you'll be able to understand the first Caiaphas Cain book without knowing too much about the Imperium and everything like that, because it kind of gives you that preface. So that's why I recommend it. All right. I'm gonna cook on one, and then I'll throw it back to you.
Okay.
Adeptus Mechanicus. Have you read any Admech books?
I have started reading Mechanicum. I got
Oh, 30K
through
stuff.
I got through a little bit of it.
All
Um,
right.
it's really, I mean, it's kind of hard to get through. If I'm gonna be honest, it seems like a very good book though.
Okay. Is that 30K?
Yes,
Okay.
that is
In
when
terms,
the heresy is coming to Mars.
all right. In terms of 40K, I recommend Belisarius' Call: The Great Work. It's a little bit more character focused, but it goes a lot into the hypocrisy of Belisarius' Call and some of the Admech stuff as well. And there's a little bit of intrigue when it comes to him. But honestly, I'd also recommend Brutal Cunning. Brutal Cunning, even though it's an orc book, has some Admech stuff in it. And all the squabbling they do with each other. So if you want like Admech politics, read some Brutal Cunning.
Actually, I'm gonna double back real quick. The Master and
Yeah.
Mankind has some pretty good Mechanicum stuff. It
Oh.
goes into like them kind of grieving and then trying to get over losing Mars, and they're really being reckless with the Webley stuff. They don't really care about the Emperor's plans. They just want
Mhm.
to get Mars back. It means that much to them. Plus, it's also got Mr. Land, who named the
Oh,
Land
Ark and
Raider.
Land. That's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of Master of Mankind, is that your recommendation for Custodes?
It is one of them.
Oh, what's your other recommendation for Custodes?
So we're gonna get back in the Master Mankind. It is really good for Custodes. They kick serious ass. Uh, it kind of it kind of left me with a weird taste though because they were kind of dicks. The custodians, or at least like that character. But it does have the custodian Ra, which was like the emperor's like best boy other than Sanguinius,
Yeah.
and it's really heartwarming. Like he actually like really cares about his custodians, and he has a lot of like personal dialogue with the custodians, and like you get flashbacks and very good. Um, but for current 40K, um, one second. The series by Chris Rate, Emperor's
What's that one?
Legion, in the
Oh yeah.
Regent's Shadow. I think those are the only two books. Um, that follows a new custodian character, and a Sister of Silence. Very, very good. It really shows the perfection of the custodies. Like he really doesn't have many character flaws. Um, it's mainly him dealing with other external threats. Uh, Honestly, I mean, it was one of the first 40K books I really read. It was really good. You also get some ultra or what Gilliman? Yeah, you get some Gilliman
Yeah, yeah.
stuff
Ultra
later on
Marines.
in the second book.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. All right, so that's Custodes, your two recommendations.
Yeah.
Chris Wright and Master Mankind.
Yep.
And Emperor's Legion, I guess. Well,
Oh,
Emperor's
yeah,
Legion is what Chris
it's
Wright was.
they're part of the same series. Those two books.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Other Imperial stuff. Sororitas, have you read any of them?
Uh, Other than stuff in the Fall of Cadia, no.
Okay. I've only read one, Book of Martyrs. It's aight. I mean, I've only read one Sororitas book. That's the only one I can recommend. If any of you have suggestions, put them down in the comments because I only read Book of Martyrs and I thought it was mid. So,
Unfortunate.
yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put Imperial Assassins and Imperial Knights together because I have the same book
It's
for
really a
both.
2-for-1. I know what book you're talking about.
Yeah, it's Assassinorum Kingmaker, dude. It's so good. It's another one of my faves. Assassinorum Kingmaker is fantastic. You get good like dynastic knight politics, and knights can freaking move.
Oh
They
yeah,
are
full
the
sprint.
pilots. They are in touch with their machines. It feels like a
It,
Jaeger
it
from
it's
Pacific
it's
Rim.
Titanfall. It really is.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Assassinorum is really, really good. I appreciate it. I have the
Pause.
audiobook. I own it. In
Pause.
print.
Pause on the podcast.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you watched Atlas on Netflix?
Nope.
It's literally just like a copy of the Titanfall 2 campaign.
Oh, dude, I love Titanfall 2, bro.
I mean, they've really copied a lot of elements from the story, but honestly, good movie. Would recommend on Netflix
Really?
now.
Okay, it's called Atlas.
Atlas, yeah.
All right, there you go. Time to not give Infinity Ward any more money and just watch that instead instead of replaying the Titanfall campaign. All right,
Yeah.
speaking of big mechs, though, I mean, Assassinorum Kingmaker, it is mainly focused on a Vindicare assassin, as well as like Calidus and not a Venenum. Who's the hacker? What's the hacker temple?
Eversor?
Secretum? No. They're not one on the tabletop.
Oh. I don't
Secretum,
know, but
think is what it was.
I love the Calexis assassin.
The Calidus. The Calexis one is the one with the anti-psyker stuff. That's really
Yeah.
cool. There's not one of those, unfortunately.
A
which makes me
weaponized
sad.
blank.
Yep. But Assassinorum Kingmaker is good, and bang for your buck, you also get a good chunk of knight stuff, and it's really, really good.
I got one for
All right.
Titans.
Oh shoot, go for it, dude. I do not know any good Titan books.
Yeah, I'm not going to cover the other half of that book yet until we get into their actual faction. But the very first book I ever read for 40K, one second, I gotta scroll down. I don't know where it is.
Is it Hell's Reach?
Yeah, it's Hell's Reach. But I wanted to get
Okay.
the full name.
Let's bite this bullet, dude. It's a Space Marine book.
It is. However, I don't know if there's any like dedicated. Actually, no, there is like Adeptus Titanicus is like an actual 40K book. Hunter is reading,
Oh, okay.
but he is not here for this recording, so I don't know how it is yet. But it does give really it does give a really good glimpse into Titans and how much they're coveted, and how like a Princeps is in touch with her Titans, and um, it's really good. Honestly, it's not much Titan stuff, but
It's enough.
it does give a really good like insight into like you can't just be like, oh, I need these Titans. Even if they get sent to the planet and requested, you still have to be like, can you fight? And they'll be like, no, give us
I'm
stuff.
leaving.
Me,
I have I
and
have
because
my
they're admic,
own.
they'll say
Yeah.
weird shit like, you have kind eyes.
Okay, bro. Okay, so
That is a quote
Hell's
from the
Reach.
book.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Grimaldus apparently has very kind eyes.
He has
says
very
as he
kind
just
eyes.
Slaughters orcs en masse.
Very kind eyes.
All right. So let's get this out of the way. I think Space Marines are cool. Okay,
Oh, wait,
I
wait,
get,
wait.
but
Do we have any?
Hell's Reach. Oh, I think it's for the
Oh,
Imperium.
you're still on Hell's Reach. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm still on Hell's Reach because we did Sororitas Militarum, Custodes Mechanicus, Assassins, and Knights. I don't think there's any other
Inquisition.
Imperium thing left. Ooh, that's right.
Yeah,
have you read any
Inquisition.
Inquisition books?
Uh, to be
Oh, you
fair,
say this, I don't have nothing correct.
to be fair, not really.
Eisenhorn.
They kind of show up here and there. I'm gonna recommend it again. Fall of Kate has
Don't.
got. I'm sorry. Fall of
He
Kate.
can't keep getting away with it,
I'll have a counter in the video.
bro. Read just read Eisenhorn. It's a Eisenhorn. I think it's a trilogy.
I
And then
think
there's a
so. I
spin-off
think you're
trilogy
right.
with his. And then there's a spin-off trilogy with his apprentice. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Eisenhorn, I read the first book. I fell off a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a good detective story. And I think it does justice to an Inquisitor who, like, isn't just press the Exterminatus button over and over again.
Yeah, they try the do. Oh wait, no, I do have a Inquisition book, but continue.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm done. That was my point.
Do you know the name? Because I don't know, and I have not read it personally, but I've heard very good things about it. The book with the Grey Knights, Inquisition, and the dreaded Space Wolves.
Oh, I talk about the Months of Shame?
Yeah.
I don't know what book that's in, but I do know of the event. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh.
Yeah, so basically it follows some Space Wolves saving some civilians, and Inquisition and Grey Knights are like, no, there were demons on that planet, and a lot of infighting between the two. I'm sure it's probably more Grey Knights than Inquisition, if we're gonna be honest. But all the same.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking. I think that's Grey Knights. I know there's good Grey Knights books. I know that for a fact.
Oh yeah,
I
didn't.
know that the
Oh well, I mean, I guess they're technically Space Marines.
they don't have the same army rules, so they're a different faction, but they basically are Space Marines but psychic. I know for a fact they have good books. I cannot for the life of me remember what they are. I know
There is
that-
one, which
Yeah?
is by Aaron Dembski Bowden, which I have not read through all the way, but it's very promising. The Emperor's Gift.
Oh, cool. I have not read it. What's it about?
It basically, again, have not gone through much of any of it. Excuse me, sorry. But it's following a. Actually, no, that is the Months of Shame book.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it follows a great. I think it is. It follows a Great Knight going through his training, and then the Months of Shame stuff happening, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, all right, fantastic.
Also, we didn't really cover it, but I don't think there's really any books for the Imperial Navy.
I can't think of any. Off the top of the
Yeah,
dome.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's get this done. So, Space Marines, there's a lot.
Are we doing it in order?
There's so many books.
They might as well do it in order.
How about this? Without Legions, and you just want if you just want a Space Marine book, or like, how can you explain to someone who hasn't read a Space Marine book before what a Space Marine is, not only to their own chapter, but to also the mortals and those they interact with?
Oh, that's
What is the book?
hard.
For me, it's Hell's Reach.
It's what?
For me, it's Hell's Reach.
That is a very good book. Very, very good for that.
It's long.
Um,
It's long.
this I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna say this one. I'm gonna say Valdor, Birth of the Imperium.
That's a custodian name. You better justify yourself.
Okay. Does not really give much of an insight into the Space Marines, to be fair.
God damn it! This is the Space Marine book, and there's no Space Marines.
Well, no.
Okay,
Hang on.
okay.
It deals with the problems of Thunder Warriors. It does go into like, oh, the Thunder Warriors are great. They're super strong, but they can't fucking follow orders, and they're crazy. And it goes into like the Emperor building the Space Marines and the Primarchs, and there's like a civil war that kind of happens where the Primarchs get sent out into space, but at the very end, Space Marines do show up, and it's a really just like fuck these guys, kick ass. But I think it's kind of a good recommendation if you're kind of an experienced 40k lore connoisseur to see like how they came in the bean and how they differentiate from the Thunder Warriors.
Okay, so Valdor is not the intro to Space Marines. It's the you ever wonder where Space Marines came from? And
It's really the
why
intro to the
Emperor regards them
Imperium,
really good?
but
Yeah.
it does get intro to Space Marines.
All right, cool. So that will be Valdor. But in terms of like, you've never read a Space Marine book.
Yeah, Hell's Rage.
You want to know some of their. I'm not saying the Black Templar is representative of every Space Marine,
No.
but they hit a lot of marks for what the Imperium stands for.
Based Marines.
And gets you a good idea of the brotherhood that they hold. And oh my god,
Based Marines.
07 to the Heroes of Hell's Reach.
Oh, what was his name? The guard.
Andre,
Did you find your love?
shut up. Don't do that. All right.
We're not gonna
It's
get
in the
into
last like
it's spoilers.
it's in the last like 20 minutes of the book too. That's
It
a deep
is.
cut.
It's
Shut
a
up.
deep cut.
All right. Okay. Now, if you want a very specific flavor of Space Marines, if you want specific legions or chapters, I know there's at least a book for you. Like the Carcharodons have a book, the Crimson Fists have a book, the Ultramarines have a book. Everyone
I
has
think
a
we
book.
can. I think we have enough time to cover the primary legions, though.
Let's do the major ones. Okay. Blood Angels. You know this one.
Oh, we're not gonna do an order.
Okay, fine. Legion Order 1. Dark Angels.
Oh, also, the Minotaurs are featured in the Chris Wright Custodes books. But anyways,
Yeah.
Dark Angels. I know what you're probably gonna recommend. But I'm actually gonna say the Descent of Angels as my Dark Angels book.
Okay, what's it about?
You really don't get Dark Angels.
God damn it. Again! You can't keep getting away with this.
You can't stop me. But no. So it focuses on Caliban and the Lion, and his like how like him coming into his power. It sets up Dark Angel stuff, and it shows like this is how they feel, this is how they think, this is where they get the torture stuff from. This is why, secrets mean so much, and it's a really good preamble to Dark Angels. So I'm gonna say that, but also The Lion Son of the Force. I've read that too. Great book, phenomenal.
Yeah. I haven't actually read Lion Son of the Force.
Oh my God.
Go with the only piece of Dark Angels I've even touched is Trials of Azrael, which is a 1-hour audio drama. And the
doesn't
only reason
count.
I listened. Okay, I know, but because Dark Angels has 10 bajillion books, but the only reason I listen to it is because it has Karn the Betrayer in it. And I like the World Eaters. That's the only reason.
The Lion Son of the Forest. It's with the lion coming back, and he's like, "Fuck, all right." And he's actually a lot nicer in the Lion Son of the Forest as opposed to Descent of Angels. Also, we really skimmed over Black Templars. But Hell's Reach is the book recommendation for them.
Easily.
Also,
Easily.
if you want a really good insight into Dreadnoughts and the Black Templars, the audio drama, The Glorious Tomb, Yeah, The Glorious Tomb by Guy Haley. I genuinely cried from reading this book or this audio
Damn.
drama.
Cool.
It was sad. It's only like 40 minutes, but I cried.
Good stuff. All right. Let's see. 1, then no 2, 3 is children, 4 is warriors, 5. Okay, White Scars. Jagatai Khan, Warhawk of Dragoris. It's the first Primarch book I read. It's pretty good. It's written by Chris Wright. Oh wait, that's the the Emperor's Legion dude. Same guy.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Custodes.
Yeah, yeah. He wrote a idea of like Jagatai's relationship with the rest of his legion, and this is a 30K book, obviously. And
Jagatai
you
is
get
just the based Primarch.
I mean, dude, based means so many things nowadays.
Other than maybe the lion of being like, Gilman, I'm gonna exterminate your planet.
Yeah. Okay. So Jagatai is standoffish, aloof, but reasonable and very loyal to his sons. If you're talking about a Primarch that values his legion, Jagatai Khan is up there because he gives them autonomy and he cares for them. It's really good. And
Yeah,
he
he's
makes them
definitely up
more
there.
than just he makes them more than just barbarians. They are scholars and poets and they have shamans and it's really cool. And he's bros with Sanguinius, so let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So Jagatai Khan, Warhawk Jagoras is my recommendation for White Scars. If you're into the heresy, you could read Scars, but I don't think that's good for standalone. Jagatai Khan, Warhawk of Chagoris is better where if you just want White Scar stuff, and maybe they fight orcs.
Any Horus Heresy book is gonna be hard for a standoff like intro
Yeah.
to 40K. Other
For sure,
than
for sure.
maybe the Horus Rising.
Yeah, the first 3.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, so that's 5. 6, Space Wolves. Hold on, I'm gonna text my friend Jonathan. I have nothing for Space Wolves, dude. I've read no Space Wolves books.
Break.
Yeah, hold on. Hit a break. I'm gonna text Jonathan.
Okay, well, while he goes on break, I actually want to say something. The channel is doing extremely well. We had a massive like boost in views. Kind of because I did pay for Google advertising.
Chill.
But I'm gonna admit to it. But you guys are really starting to comment anymore. Somebody did mention something about Spotify. I have created the Bolters and Banter Spotify podcasts. So I will at some point be getting all of these videos onto Spotify for you guys. Watch time is really good, and just overall, like, I mean, thank you. This is doing a lot better than we ever anticipated, and it's all to you guys. We're trying to put more effort into the videos. Nick's got a new mic. I got art still coming. I'm not trying to rush the artist because art takes time. But yeah, is your Space Wolves guy back? And Nick's
No,
gone.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We'll come back. Hopefully he
Sorry,
answers.
Space Wolves.
Okay, so that's 6. 7 is Fists. Praetorian of Dorn.
Ooh.
I just talked about not recommending Horus Heresy books, and yet here I am.
Flight of the
recommending-
Eisenstein also has Imperial Fists and also has Rogue Adorn throwing a temper tantrum.
Hey, you know what other book has Imperial Fist quite a bit?
The Custodes books by Chris Wright.
Oh, I was gonna say Falcadia.
And the Fall of Cadia. the Phalanx shows up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That counts as 2
Praetor-
Fall of Cadia counts. Because you did mention it too.
Yeah, Praetorian of Dorn is when Rogal Dorn fights Alfarius, and it's pretty neat. It gets
Sick.
into Rogal Dorn more specifically. If you're
that's
good with Imperial Fist successors, the Crimson Fists have a book. I don't
I
remember
thought they
what
were
the name of it is.
Ultramarines.
No, Crimson Fists are Imperial Fist successor.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they're blue. Doesn't mean they're not fists.
But they get, like, art. That's Ultramarine stuff.
Shut up. Is it the Unremembered? No. Okay, Rin's World. There we go. Rin's World is a great book. It's part of a chapter series on Space Marines, and it's basically like, hey, the Crimson Fist got clapped by enemies, but it's okay because they're really good people. So, there you
Anything
go.
with Black Templars is also like, the Imperial Fist successor chapter. It's like
True,
the
true, true.
one. Anything with Sigismund, highly recommend. Best Space
Oh,
Marine ever.
bro. Yeah.
The
Oh,
best.
shoot, dude. I mean, I wouldn't recommend reading the Siege of Terra series if you're not into the heresy, because
Yeah.
that's a
It's
time and a half.
it's daunting.
It's 15 books, but
Yeah.
Sigismund has some good stuff. Sigismund's a character you should, like, find a YouTube video about, something like that, get into him, and then if you hear a good lore moment, find the book where that happens.
Eisenstein. Now,
Yeah,
honestly,
there you go.
honestly, he's in there, but he really doesn't do much. Don't take that as a recommendation.
Nah. Okay, so Fist, Praetorian of Dorne, maybe Eisenstein, maybe Falcadia.
Not even the fight
Okay.
of Eisenstein. He was just a Chad in there. He didn't do anything.
7, 8, 9. Blood Angels.
Ooh, I mean, honestly, I didn't really like the Blood Angel side of Devastation of Ball.
Really? Why not?
Yeah, because it was Mephiston, and Mephiston is gross.
He's an edgelord. We get
He
it.
creeps
But it's
me
cool.
out.
He's cool. You can't deny.
Ugh, I don't know.
I read what is it? Eternity Gate, which is Sanguinius's basically last stand protecting the Emperor. It's late in the Siege of Terra series. I would not recommend it for Blood Angels. I would just recommend Devastation of All. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good book though. It
It
is.
has good modern Blood Angel stuff.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 9, 10. Iron Hands.
Yeah.
I got
You
nothing.
go in the Leagues of Otan category.
I got nothing against some lore, dude. Anything else?
There is, I think, the Ferris Manos book. Honestly, I think the Iron Hands are pretty cool.
Homie, the Ferris Man. There's more stuff about Ferris Manus in the Fulgrim book than there is in the Ferris Manus book. I
be
just
fair-
read Fulgrim.
To be fair, I do really like the Iron Hands, but the problem is that they died pretty quick in the Horus Heresy, and well,
and then they did nothing in 40k.
yeah,
in
they
40K,
aren't.
they've done
They just
nothing.
aren't present in 40k. Like I honestly kind of forgot about them, and I got them mixed up with Iron Warriors, and I was like, but wait, they're traitor and they're leader in loyalists. It's like, oh, there's two different ones that are iron.
Oh, okay. My guy just came back. All right, Space Wolves. There is actually a Space Wolves collection on Audible,
Oh.
which is a collection of sword stories, which is really, really cool. He recommends that, and he recommends literally the book Space Wolf. God, I love the Space Wolves. They're consistent with their naming.
Also, Fall of Cadia.
Shut up.
No, but Fall of Cadia I think has some Cadia Stands, the like preamble to the Make It Less books. Does have some pretty good Space Wolf stuff, and there's also the Grey Knight Space Wolves War. So
It's like playing the Rogue Trader video game if you want to find the Space Wolf. Like, you could, but there's other stuff in the game that are the main focus.
and I don't like Space Wolves. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's Iron Hands, and then World Leaders. Okay, Ultramarines.
Every
Okay.
book ever.
What?
Every book from 40k ever.
I was gonna say Mark of Calth for 30k and the Dark Imperium for 40k.
You really get a lot. Just
Dark
pick.
You go on.
Huh?
Go for it. Go on.
Oh no, I was just saying like just pick any 40k book where a Space Marine shows up.
So if you want a good like overall, hey, what are they up to now that Gilliman's back or whatever? The Dark Imperium trilogy goes into Rabute Gilliman leading his Ultramarines in the Indomitus Crusade, and they're actually pretty neat characters. I like the Dark Imperium books.
Honestly, the whole like Indominus Crusade part is like a really good story, from what I've gathered.
Okay.
So I might read it.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
real
30
quick,
Yeah.
real quick. I'm sorry. We've missed part of the Imperium that are Space Marines that have their own codex.
Death Watch?
Yeah, and actually, I love Death Watch. I might start a Death Watch army.
They have a book?
I don't know. I was gonna ask.
I mean, you could go, I guess, to the Yanari books for Eldar, The second book, I think, has the Death Watch cucking the ritual that Eldrad Uthwan, whatever his name is, was trying to do to wake
The
up
Death
the
Watch
Eldar Death
cucking the
God.
Eldari.
I mean, eh?
There's also
I
apparently just a book
guess?
called Death Watch.
Oh, shit, there you go. There it is.
Oh,
Death
it's an
Watch, bam.
omnibus.
No, that means it's a collection of books, so
Yeah,
try
yeah,
it out.
yeah, yeah. And The Long
There you go.
Vigil. The Long Vigil has Justin
Yeah,
D.
I heard
Hill.
that one. Yeah. I've heard that Long Vigil's actually good. Well,
Ooh,
good
I'm
as in,
picking
like,
that up.
a 6 out of 10. All right. Cool stuff. Okay, so there. Bam. That's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Salamanders, I think.
Ooh.
Or maybe it's Ravenguard first. I don't freaking remember. I think it's Salamanders. Sally's. Okay. Vulcan Lives. Vulcan Lives is a heresy book. It's about Vulcan. Not a lot of modern Salamander stuff, though. If you want modern Salamander stuff,
Nexus Pariah. It's not a book, but very good Salamander.
ooh. Okay, yeah. Okay, so books. Vulcan Lives. You want to get an idea of the Primarch. That's a good one. It's told from Vulcan's perspective, too.
Ooh, like
It's
first person?
person.
Oh,
yeah.
I love first person 40K
It's-
Primarch books.
It also has one of the best moments from Heresy, dude.
I hate my dad.
No. If you know where the quote
not
is
Vulcan.
also a hammer
Yeah.
is from, then you know. Okay. Pariah Nexus is a show on Warhammer Plus.
It's on
I would
YouTube. Just go to YouTube.
Sure, we can't say that!
What do you mean we can't
If it-
say that?
If it happens to be somewhere and you can legally get it by watching with your buddy, then watch Pariah Nexus because Sakan is a salamander. It's like 3 episodes, and he does the thing where he saves civilians and doesn't like a Caesar battle. He's cool. Also, he gets to absolutely crump some Necrons.
My boy, we have 18 subscribers. GW is not one of them.
Don't. I'm keeping my head above water, bro.
They will get you at some point, but it's not gonna be this week.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, Salamanders, Ravenguard. I got nothing. I know there's books. I know there's some good ones.
Uh,
I do not know them.
the
I mean, you
Twilight
could-
series?
Hey, you could read the first Heretic, skip to the last third, and watch Corvus Corax absolutely fucking obliterate Lorgar.
I mean, if you're a Ravengard fan, I don't know.
If you can't tell, I haven't read a lot of Space Marine books, so yeah.
Oh, the Orc player hasn't read many
Yeah.
Space Marine books.
I read a lot of World Eaters and Orcs. I read a lot of Xenos as well. All right, and I think that's all the Loyalist Legions. Any Loyalist Space Marine books?
Like, just general, like, good Space Marine book?
Yeah, for me it's Hell's Reach. That's my go-to.
Yeah,
like,
but
if
that's
you like
Black
Space
Templars.
Marines, read it. Yeah, that's good.
Uh,
I think that's it. I think it's all
honestly,
the factions. We did it.
the first hang on, the first 3 Horse Heresy books. Honestly, I think that's a good insight into the brotherhood of Space Marines.
Yep. Do that if you want to read Black Legion. Then there you go too. Yippee. right. We did it. Those are our book recommendations. I will, if you want, go on ISBN, find all those books. Audiobooks are usually pretty reasonable and pretty convenient. I listen to them when I paint minis. However, I do own quite a bit of the print books, especially like if you find that the audiobook has this is a problem with some orc books.
You get
The
it's
orcs
hard to
are
follow.
pretty distinct.
You'll get like sidetracked for like a second, and then you have to go back like 5 minutes because you don't know where the fuck you are.
Oh, dude, I have ADHD. All right, some books grab my attention. I can follow it pretty easily. Dude, my attention lapses for like 2 minutes when reading Angron the Red Angel, and I completely lost the plot. I don't know what happened.
I listen to my audiobooks at work. How do you think it is for me?
Oh, God. Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot do that. So,
No.
Man.
Everybody's
gone
just
to-
gonna get an F or end up burning something.
Nah. I mean, dude, what I would pay to be able to grade papers and just listen to the first heretic or betrayer. Oh man. Well, although I do have a long commute, so I get to listen to that, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. We did it.
It felt short, but I know it was an hour.
It's an hour and 5.
I think it's just because we really had to speed run it.
Bro,
but
we spent
honestly,
like 15 minutes on Space Marines.
I mean, yeah, they're a big part.
All right. Well, bye, I guess.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you would like to listen to more Bolters and Banter, more like intro to 40K sort of stuff. If you have any suggestions for topics, put them down below. So because we are always looking for new ideas. This is something that was mainly our brainchild of, hey, some people mainly listen to lore podcasts and stuff. And if you want to make the leap into books, those are recommendations.
Yeah. Also, we have the Spotify coming out. This video is probably going to go up there, and I'm going to have to put the other ones on there sometime soon. Any engagement at all, even if you just, have a general question about 40K, we'd love to talk with you guys. And we appreciate anything y'all do, whether it's even just watching. So,
Absolutely.
On that note, thank you for watching, and y'all have a great day. Peace.
Bye-bye now.